Dinar shift. This is the massive financial update many of you have been waiting for, a crucial piece of confirmed information that directly impacts every single holder of the Iraqi dinar. We are now sharing reports from multiple verifiable sources, including confirmed insider communications from within the banking sector, indicating that only 4 major financial institutions have been officially designated and authorized to handle dinar exchanges when the long-anticipated revaluation event is finally activated. This is not a matter of speculative chatter or unverified rumors. This authorization is being tracked and confirmed through verified internal memorandums and updates directly connected to Iraq's central financial infrastructure. For those who currently possess the currency or have maintained an interest in its future, understanding this precise detail is absolutely paramount to future actions. The confirmation of this limited group of authorized banks is a monumental shift, signaling a new, structured phase in the process of the dinar becoming internationally tradable. Multiple high-level banking insiders, both within Iraq and in the United States, have confirmed that the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) and the US Treasury Department have concluded formal agreements with these 4 institutions. The sole purpose of these agreements is to establish a secure and regulated framework to oversee currency redemptions and exchanges once the dinar officially moves onto the global foreign exchange markets. This step is perhaps the clearest structural indication yet of how close the entire system is to a rollout, moving beyond theory and into active implementation planning. For the first time in this long narrative, the entire process is organized, thoroughly planned, and centrally coordinated by institutions that possess the necessary legal clearance, scale, and operational infrastructure to manage an event of this magnitude. These financial giants have not been idle. They have reportedly spent considerable time, potentially months or even years, rigorously upgrading their digital systems, thoroughly testing advanced settlement tools, and physically preparing high-security facilities specifically for the purpose of handling large-scale, high-value transactions involving the Iraqi dinar. This level of comprehensive, dedicated preparation from major international institutions is a telling factor. Such meticulous preparation and the establishment of bespoke systems are not arbitrary actions. They are indicators of an imminent, tangible financial shift. The act of exchanging a revalued national currency is far from a typical banking transaction. It represents an inherently complex, highly regulated, and internationally coordinated operation that demands impeccable accuracy, absolute transparency, and robust security from its inception to its final conclusion. Therefore, the strategic positioning and readiness of these specific, pre-approved financial institutions provide the clearest possible sign that the official rollout phase is not just approaching, but is rapidly coming into focus on the near horizon for all participants. The compelling question, of course, is why restrict this critical function to only 4 institutions? The answer is rooted deeply in the principles of control, institutional readiness, and the need for massive operational scale. A currency revaluation transcends simple note conversion. It is, at its core, a complex global financial operation that must incorporate stringent compliance with anti-money laundering's AML protocols, adherence to international taxation laws, and global financial verification procedures. The vast majority of local or regional banks simply do not possess the necessary access to the high-speed international payment rails or the sophisticated digital verification systems required for direct connection to the Central Bank of Iraq's newly modernized infrastructure. The 4 institutions selected were chosen precisely because they meet the highest global standards for preparedness, comprehensive regulatory compliance, and seamless integration with the world's primary settlement networks. This selection is not a matter of favoritism or arbitrary choice, it is a calculated governmental strategy. When a financial process of this global significance is initiated, the regulatory authorities and sovereign governments involved require absolute reliability, and these 4 major institutions have demonstrated their capability to deliver the necessary operational and security backbone for such a massive undertaking. Their ability to immediately comply with global standards is what sets them apart. So, the critical detail remains, which banks have earned a place on this exclusive and critical list. Reports consistently indicate that the 4 officially authorized institutions are Chase Bank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. It is significant that each of these entities already maintains established, direct working relationships with both the US Treasury and the Central Bank of Iraq. These existing ties are facilitated through mechanisms like oil payment systems, international compliance platforms, and global clearing houses, creating an integrated network ready for activation. Their current roles make them the logical, pre-vetted candidates for this expanded, sensitive exchange function. Zooming in on their specific roles, reports suggest Chase Bank has maintained long-standing and deep involvement with Iraq's financial modernization initiatives. Simultaneously, Wells Fargo has been engaged in a major overhaul and upgrade of its internal systems, specifically preparing for digital currency verification and large-scale transaction processing. Bank of America's immense global compliance networks make it an ideal candidate for managing high-volume, cross-border currency transfers that demand regulatory oversight, and JP Morgan's established international settlements infrastructure is already directly connected to Iraq's oil export revenue streams, forming a crucial digital link. Collectively, these 4 institutions form the essential, compliant backbone of the new, regulated exchange network. What elevates the status of these 4 banks is the profound depth of their digital connectivity and system integration. Each of them has established direct, instantaneous digital links with the exact payment systems utilized by both the US Treasury and the Central Bank of Iraq. This means that at the moment the new international rate for the dinar goes officially live, these four primary institutions will receive the data feed first. Their internal banking systems are poised to update instantly, displaying the verifiable live rate, the accurate exchange value, and the official conversion options to their clients in real time. This immediate access to verified, first-hand data is a massive operational advantage. Conversely, smaller regional banks, local credit unions, and other institutions will inevitably face a time lag. They may not even be aware that the exchange event has formally commenced until hours or days later. They will require time to connect, confirm, and update their own systems after the initial activation. This disparity in readiness is the primary reason why financial insiders have strongly suggested that the Big Four are positioned to lead the crucial first wave of exchanges, managing the initial rush before any phased expansion of the exchange function is allowed to happen across the wider banking sector. This controlled start is a fundamental strategic choice. The Central Bank of Iraq has been completely unequivocal on one critical point: all currency exchanges must be processed exclusively through compliant, traceable, and fully licensed financial institutions. This mandate definitively rules out any possibility of side deals, gray market transactions, or the involvement of private, unregulated brokers. The existence and clarity of this four-bank list is therefore exceptionally important as it precisely delineates the only safe, legal, and officially sanctioned pathway for conversion. Any operation outside of this pre-approved network will be operating in a high-risk, non-compliant environment. These authorized banks already operate under the strictest compliance standards mandated by both US and Iraqi financial regulations, a key safeguard for holders. This ensures that every legitimate exchange will be meticulously legal, fully transparent, and automatically logged within the governmental databases of both the US Treasury and the Central Bank of Iraq. This rigorous logging and oversight process is what ultimately shields legitimate holders, guaranteeing the integrity and official recognition of their transaction. It establishes a necessary layer of protection against fraud and confirms compliance with international financial law. Let us now walk through the anticipated, structured process once the exchange window officially opens. The initial step for any holder will be to formally schedule an appointment. It is highly likely that this will be managed through a secure, designated online portal or a specialized customer service system established by the authorized bank. The entire process is designed to be appointment-based to ensure security and manage demand effectively, preventing chaos and ensuring a controlled flow of transactions. This scheduling mechanism is the gateway to the official conversion process. The second phase will involve the physical appointment itself, where the holder will present their necessary identification documents and the Iraqi dinar notes they wish to exchange. The bank's personnel will then conduct a thorough official scan, verification, and authentication of the notes. This verification will be done through the International Security Network, which is directly linked and synchronized with the authentication systems of the Central Bank of Iraq, confirming the note's validity and legal origin. This real-time digital authentication is a non-negotiable step to ensure a clean exchange. In the third critical step, once the authentication system has fully confirmed that all submitted notes are valid and legitimate, the attending banker will display the live official exchange rate on a screen. At this point, the currency holder will be given the option to choose whether they wish to exchange the entirety of their currency holding or only a specified partial amount. This choice provides the holder with control over their assets based on the official, verifiable rate presented in the secure banking environment. The fourth step culminates in the successful transfer of value. The converted funds will be immediately deposited directly into the holder's banking account. The holder will have the choice to receive the equivalent value in either US dollars or the revalued Iraqi dinar, depending on their predetermined preference. This digital deposit minimizes cash handling, enhancing security and speed. The final, essential step is the signing of the exchange confirmation, a document that formalizes the transaction. Upon the signing of the confirmation, the bank system will automatically and instantaneously record the entire transaction within the integrated databases of both the US Treasury and the Central Bank of Iraq. This entire sequence is engineered to be fully digital, remarkably fast, and completely traceable, eliminating the role of unofficial middlemen, circumventing long delays, and removing the historical uncertainty associated with currency exchanges. The focus is on regulatory compliance and the efficient transfer of value. The strategy behind limiting the initial exchanges to only these few banks is fundamentally driven by the desire for control over chaos. A financial event of this massive global and systemic scale must necessarily be initiated within a secure, controlled, and stress-tested environment. This allows the system's stability to be proven with institutions that are fully equipped to handle monumental transaction inflows, manage complex compliance reporting, and immediately flag any anomalies. This deliberate, slow start approach is the international standard for major currency transitions. Once the initial systems have been fully stabilized and the first wave of large-scale, early exchanges has been successfully completed, there will be a gradual phased expansion. At that time, smaller domestic and international banks may be incrementally granted access to the exchange network. Therefore, if a holder's primary local bank is not currently on the initial list, there is no need for panic, they may be added later. This strategy, start small, rigorously monitor the results, then carefully expand, is the globally accepted protocol for ensuring stability, mitigating the risk of fraud, and maintaining the financial integrity of the system during a major transition. For every dinar holder, the time for passive waiting is past, the time for active preparation is now. The first critical step is ensuring the physical security of the currency notes and knowing their precise location and denomination count. The second step involves proactively checking if an account is already held with one of the 4 approved institutions: Chase Bank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America. If no account exists, opening one promptly could drastically reduce processing time when the appointments begin. The third immediate step is to ensure that all necessary identification documents are ready and easily accessible. This includes a valid passport, driver's license, or national identification card. These documents will be non-negotiable requirements for the verification process. The fourth, and perhaps most challenging, step is to maintain a state of absolute calm. The key element that will define success is not speculation or panic, but meticulous, organized preparation. When the event is activated, those who are organized will be the ones who move smoothly, securely, and with confidence. What is often not fully grasped is the central role of the US Treasury, which will maintain direct oversight of the entire exchange operation. Every single transaction involving the converted currency will be funneled through international settlement systems that are intrinsically linked to the US dollar network. This integration means that rigorous compliance checks, official taxation procedures, and comprehensive security protocols are fundamentally built into the architecture of the system. This oversight is a guarantee of legitimacy and provides a layer of protection for all verified holders. This level of governmental oversight also ensures that any and all scams, fraudulent claims, or private exchange offers promising special, unofficial rates will have absolutely no official standing or connection to the legitimate process. If an offer for exchange is not explicitly channeled through one of the 4 officially named banks, it is by definition not part of the secure, regulated, and real financial system that has been put in place. The official channel is the only pathway to a legally verifiable exchange. Internal reports have also brought to light that these key banks began conducting internal training sessions as far back as late 2024 and early 2025. These training initiatives were reportedly focused on specialized, foreign currency event protocols. Internal memos, according to sources, explicitly instructed branch managers to proactively ready their staff for the handling of large, volume currency verification, stringent compliance reporting, and new transaction procedures. When this internal bank preparation is logically connected to the CBI's new exchange systems and the direct Treasury supervision, the pattern of coordinated and imminent activation becomes undeniably clear to financial analysts. Simultaneously, the Central Bank of Iraq has been aggressively upgrading its entire digital payment network, strengthening its currency authentication systems, and actively linking Iraqi banks to international settlement platforms. Many of these upgraded connections run directly under the established channels operated by key partners like JP Morgan and the Federal Reserve. The CBI itself even publicly confirmed that it was finalizing exchange readiness procedures with its international partners. That specific public phrase, exchange readiness, demonstrates a clear transition from mere policy consideration to active, implementation-focused preparation. The foundational economic indicators for Iraq also suggest a country primed for this currency normalization. The Iraqi economy is demonstrating stability, its foreign currency reserves are robust, inflation remains at a manageable level, and oil revenues are consistently strong and verifiable. Every major macroeconomic indicator suggests that the structural and financial foundation is fully established. This confluence of internal stability and external infrastructure readiness underscores the seriousness of the current status. The conclusion is that the entire systemic structure is now complete and fully aligned. The Central Bank of Iraq, the US Treasury, and the 4 authorized private banks are all operating in concert, synchronized for a coordinated launch. The only remaining and final step is the moment of activation, the revaluation event itself. When the official announcement is made, transactions will proceed with remarkable speed and structure. The initial exchanges will undoubtedly be appointment only and managed with strict control by the big 4 banks. The central risk now is falling into the trap of being unprepared, which could lead to missing the crucial initial wave or, far worse, being victimized by scams that falsely promise secret access or privileged rates. We must stress again, there are no secret deals or private access routes outside of the legitimate, official, pre-approved banking network. The authorized process will be public, fully transparent, and exclusively executed through the 4 approved institutions. Anyone claiming otherwise is operating outside the safety of the official framework. As the first wave stabilizes and the process proves viable, a gradual expansion will naturally occur as smaller banks are brought online and fully integrated. However, those who participate in the earliest phase will secure a significant advantage in terms of timing, certainty, and access to the system before it becomes congested. The overarching goal is not a frantic rush to the finish, but a state of calm, organized readiness. Have your necessary paperwork, bank accounts, and identification perfectly in order so that the moment the appointment systems open, you are instantly ready to proceed. This is a strictly regulated financial exchange, which means it will require verification, detailed logging, and official reporting for every transaction. While the new digital system will be infinitely faster and more secure than older methods, It will adhere rigidly to all compliance steps to ensure every single note is authenticated and officially recorded. For every dinar holder watching this broadcast, the most critical question you must ask yourself right now is this: are you truly ready for immediate action? The wider economic significance of these 4 banks taking charge of the Iraqi Dinar exchange cannot be overstated. It confirms the full, formal involvement of major global financial markets. It signifies that international settlement systems are directly and compliantly linking with Iraq's sovereign banking infrastructure. For holders, it means the dinar is being officially transitioned onto a respected, global financial platform. This is far more than a simple currency conversion. It is participation in a systemic, nationally transformational event. This moment requires a fundamental shift in mentality. You are not a casual sideline hobbyist. You are potentially a participant in a major systemic financial launch. This demands that you treat your holdings with the utmost seriousness, just as you would any other major financial asset requiring careful, compliant management. The long journey has involved years of patience mixed with passing rumors, but the distinguishing element today is the verifiable presence of detailed preparation and official structure. Being prepared is not a signal to rush into panic buying or suddenly dumping assets. It means executing the necessary groundwork, opening or confirming the necessary accounts, ensuring all identification is current, verifying the security of your holdings, and setting your mind for calm, deliberate action. When the official window does open, you will have a stable, secure, and clear path to follow, rather than scrambling last minute in a state of confusion. That calm, structural readiness is the single most valuable mindset you can adopt right now. Once the new international rate goes live, the approved bank systems will immediately display the new conversion values in real time. This is when the official confirmed exchange appointments will begin, and this is the specific moment that requires your action. This event simultaneously signals a major enhancement in Iraq's global economic stature. By formally integrating its currency into international settlement systems, the entire nation of Iraq steps firmly onto the global trade stage, moving toward greater stability and international financial alignment. Patience, which has been tested for years through numerous false alarms, must now be seamlessly combined with a state of complete, organized readiness. The alignment of signs, the internal bank readiness, the direct US Treasury involvement, the Central Bank of Iraq's confirmation, and the now clear 4-bank system structure is what sets this period apart from all preceding speculation. Stay highly alert, ensure you remain informed exclusively from verifiable sources, and never chase unverifiable hype or false promises. The process is structured, real, and official, but it is exclusively executed through Chase Bank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. Operating within this secure, official framework ensures that your exchange will be completely safe, legally compliant, and fully verifiable by both governments involved. The absolute bottom line remains this: only 4 banks have been cleared to manage the initial exchange of the Iraqi dinar when the revaluation is officially activated. The systems are actively prepared. The required infrastructure is fully established and stress-tested. The coordination between the Central Bank of Iraq and the United States Treasury is active, confirmed, and operational. All necessary components are aligning for the final step. When the event occurs, it is structured to happen with speed and control. The key question for you is not if this process is structured, but when the activation will occur. Be ready, stay informed, stay smart,